Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria if you are new, and today is day 3 of 31 days of Halloween. Today we are going to be doing a vampire look. I can't believe I didn't do this one last time, but we are doing it this time, and I got some fun accessories. I got some contacts, fangs of course, and a lot of other fun stuff, so I'm excited. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so I want to go with a kind of romantic goth type of look. I want very thin, soft eyebrows. So I am gonna block them, and I'm gonna use spirit gum. I've mentioned this before, but I have very thick and unruly eyebrows, and a glue stick just doesn't quite hold them, so I have to do multiple layers of glue stick. But with spirit gum, I'm pretty much one and done. It starts to get tacky pretty quickly, so I just gotta brush through. Make sure my eyebrows are laid flat and evenly. So I'm gonna quickly prep my face. I'm gonna prime my face, starting with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I'm going to take my Milk Pore Eclipse mattifying primer and apply that in my T-zone. Okay, so for my base, I want it to be pretty pale. So I'm going to take my lightest concealer, which is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer in the shade Beach. And I'm basically going to use it as foundation. And then I'm going to take my Maron, which is a water activated face paint, and do a light layer on top. With my eyebrows, I'm going to lay it on pretty thick because my eyebrows are so dark. I want that full coverage, and the white will help cover it up also. Taking a sponge with setting spray. And I'm not really going to press on my eyebrow. I want to keep that coverage. I don't want to soak up any product on my sponge. I love this concealer so much. It actually makes a beautiful base. So Maron face paint using the white. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some water on my sponge, kind of tap out the excess, and just take it directly onto that white. Now I'm going to start on my eyebrow because that's where I want the most coverage. Starting on my brows, I will go back over my brows with a brush just because it is more coverage with the brush. I want to keep the layer pretty light. Now to cover my eyebrows more, I'm going to take my concealer on my hand, brush with water on it, and directly into that paint, that white paint. Get a good amount on the brush, and then just mix it with the concealer on my hand. And I'm just going to lay that on my eyebrow, pressing it on to get in between the hairs. And then just blend out the edges. And I feel like this side still needs a little bit more coverage. So what I'm going to do is take my Maron setting powder and press it on. And then I will go over it again one more time with the concealer and face paint. Okay, now I'm going to take setting powder one more time. And I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to press that onto my brows. And then with the fluffy brush, just going to pat that in. Okay, and to kind of even out this area of my brows, I'm going to take a little bit more water and white paint on my sponge and go over my entire face, kind of just blend it all out. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of this white paint. I'm going to use it like as concealer. Taking it under my eyes. I'm using my still slightly damp sponge to blend it out. Okay, so now I'm going to set my whole face using that fluffy brush and the Maron setting powder. So to map out my brows, I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I'm going to do it right above my natural eyebrow. I want a very curved, very rounded eyebrow. I'm just going to take whatever was left on that concealer brush and just kind of clean up anything that I don't want. And then I'm going to start to thicken it up slightly and darken it a bit. Okay, so I'm not going to darken them just yet because I kind of like them like this, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to wait until I'm done with my eyes and then decide whether or not I want them darker. We're going to move on to eyes for now. So I'm taking my Milk Hydro Grip Eye Primer. Okay, so to start my eyes, I'm going to use the About Face Fluid Eye Paint in the shade Art of Darkness, which is their black. I'm just going to start by taking this on the outer corner. I'm just going to do one side at a time because it dries pretty quickly. Just a blending brush. I'm going to tap that in. And slowly start to wing it out and up towards the crease. So now I'm going to take a gray eyeshadow and I'm going to be using the Blends palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and the shade is Intuition. Starting on the black and slightly diffusing it upwards. This is really just to soften the edge. I don't want to take it too high. Now taking a bit of this white eyeshadow here, the shade Cream and Sugar. I'm going to take that on top of that gray and diffuse that as well. Tiniest bit of black eyeshadow just to re-deepen that corner. Same black eyeshadow and taking it a little bit higher here, just because I want a little bit more of a upward wing. Okay, taking a little bit of Intuition, which was that gray, slightly tapping it right on this inner portion here. I'm going to take this one here from the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and it is the shade Center Eyelid, which is perfect because that's what we're going to use it for. I'm just going to tap that on, lightly pressing it onto the black. I'm not going to take it all the way on. I'm taking it a little bit this way, but leaving my lash line alone. For this portion of my lid, I'm going to take the shade Slated, and this is the That's Taupe palette from ColourPop. Going back in with that darker silver, blending it into that shade. Taking more of that black eyeshadow. Blending it into that silver. Going back to that About Face Fluid Eye Paint, reapplying it on the lash line and the outer corner. I'm going to start to create a wing. Taking it pretty far out. I do want to clean this up. In retrospect, I should have maybe done the eyes before I did the whole base, but it's just easier with the eyebrows being blocked out to do the base first. But it's okay because we can fix the base underneath the wing after I clean it up. That won't be very hard to do. So I'm just taking some micellar water on a Q-tip. And that same concealer brush that I've been using that still has concealer and face paint, I just add a tiny bit of water, reactivate the paint that's still on the brush. And just tapping it in to blend back into my base. And damp sponge helps too. Now I'm going to extend the wing. Now taking the same fluid eye paint, I'm going to take it along my lower lash line. I'm not gonna smoke it out too much. I want it pretty close to the lash line. So I am gonna still add red. I'm connecting it to that wing. Now I'm going to use this Color Fix pigment from Danessa Myricks. I've actually really been loving this. You can use it as a blush. You can use it on your lips or your eyes. On a very small brush, taking this on the black and just lightly bringing it down past the edge of the black. Bringing out a little bit more of that pigment, just a tiny bit more. I'm gonna create this more prominent red right underneath that wing. Now I'm gonna lightly tap into the Intuition gray shade. I just wanna create like a little shadow underneath for a little depth and a slightly more dead look. Bring it down a little bit further even. Okay, now I'm going to contour my face. And I'm basically just going to be using the gray, maybe the tiniest bit of the black shade, but mostly the gray. A very light hand. Okay, so now I'm going to do the nose. And I'm just going straight up. I would normally curve it into my brow bone, but since my brows are much higher, I'm just gonna go straight instead. Okay, now some of that Mehron setting powder on a powder puff. Okay, before I do the lips, I do want to address the eyebrows. I think I want to darken them a little bit. So I'm going to take my NYX brow pen in Espresso, so it's not black. I'm just going to lightly go over it. So we are going to do like a vampy lip. I'm going to use my NYX Epic Wear liner stick to line my lips. Now I'm going to take that red pigment. I'm going to put it right on my lip, just a tiny bit because it is so pigmented. Start to tap it into place, dragging it onto the black. As I start to blend, the black will kind of darken the red. A bit more red, just right in the center. Okay, this is a look. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. So lashes, want something big, something dramatic. I got these off of Amazon. So instead of cutting off the excess, I'm just going to place it further out and sort of on the wing. Ooh, I'm so excited to put on the fangs. Okay, and I think I want to add maybe 1 or 2 bottom lashes. These come in various sizes. I'm just gonna kind of okay, I think I'm only gonna add 1 because I don't want it to look too spidery. For my neck, I'm just going to use this white foundation from Sunset Makeup. And you can kind of sheer it out, which is nice. And I'm gonna set it with my Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie setting powder. instead of the Marron, just because I feel like the Marron goes on pretty heavy and pretty white, and I want to kind of keep this sheerness on my neck. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want just like a hint of blush. So I'm just gonna lightly tap into this darker red here, which is the shade Vexed. I'm gonna keep it pretty high on the cheekbone. I feel like this is helping it look less spidery and more vampire-y. And I'm gonna go back over it with gray just to tone down that brightness. And how can I forget the Skin of a Killer Bella? I'm gonna use this highlight. It's like a white, silvery highlight from the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero palette. Okay, we're gonna add fangs. I might add a little blood on the lip, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna go ahead and put on all my accessories and I will be right back. All right, and this is the finished look. I have the flower crown here. You can't really see it with this lens. I am so happy with how this turned out. I think this is the look in all its glory with the contacts, with me adding blood on my mouth, with the flower crown. This may be my new favorite. I hope to say that with most of the looks that I do, but I feel like this is, in my book, hard to beat. All the inspo that I got on Pinterest of like goth girls and girls that really embrace this dark, romantic, vampy aesthetic. It's just so pretty. Yeah, anyways, I have like this little bouquet. I have the teeth. Don't look too closely because I used fake nails that you just get from like Walmart or any like drugstore. I think they're like Kiss, the Kiss brand, and they're very white. So they make my teeth look not so white. And I used denture glue to hold them in place. They're a little loose, but they are holding. Yeah, and I kind of just shaved them down. Definitely a good solution if you can't get your hands on something better. I originally was trying to go with those little beads that you put in hot water and you kind of form. Those are really hard to work with, at least the ones that I got. Last minute, then my husband to Walmart, he got the nails and the denture glue, and I think it worked out okay. The veil, this is actually the veil that I used for my last 31 days. It was like Dia de los Muertes look that I did after 31 days. And we repurposed some black flowers. I found like this black velvet top thrifting, and it's actually from Hot Topic, so I think it's actually perfect. Yeah, I think this look came together really well. And I'm gonna be honest, this is actually my second time filming this look. Well, I didn't even get through the whole look the first time. I did, I think like one eye. I did my eyebrows in one eye and I hated it. Took it off, tried a different look, hated that even more, and then just called it a night because I couldn't do it. So I'm pretty happy I turned it around, I think. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. That is day 3 of 31 days of Halloween. We have 28 more days to go. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.